Welcome back to The Explainer. So, before we get completely bogged down in the nitty-gritty of getting properly licensed, I actually want to ask you a question that might surprise you. Did you know you can actually fish completely free in the state of Texas? Seriously, it's true. There's this fantastic, completely legal loophole that lets you cast a line without paying a single dime.
Right here is where those lucky exceptions apply. If you're dropping a line inside the boundaries of any of the 70-plus Texas state parks, you don't need a license at all. The same goes for waters that are entirely enclosed on private property. On top of that, youth under 17 are totally exempt, along with Texas residents born before January 1, 1931. Oh, and it's also free for folks fishing as part of a medically approved therapy for intellectual disabilities. Honestly, this is absolutely perfect for families or kids just wanting to try out the sport for the first time. But, and here's the catch, for literally everywhere else in the public waters of Texas, you are for sure going to need a license.
So, let's officially kick off our explainer on the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department Licensing Guide for 2026. I am super thrilled to walk you through this. You know, navigating government portals and rules can honestly feel like a giant maze, but today we're going to completely demystify the entire licensing process. By the time we wrap up, you're going to know exactly how to get out on the water legally, efficiently, and with zero surprises when you show up at the bait shop.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. Why you need a license. 2. The new 2026 ID requirements. 3. Paper versus digital formats. 4. Mastering the TPWD apps. And 5. Where your money actually goes.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, why you need a license.
Look, beyond just keeping you legal and avoiding those hefty fines from a Texas game warden, your license determines exactly where you're allowed to fish, whether you're hitting inland freshwater lakes or heading down to the saltwater coast for some red drum. But there's a massive catch when it comes to the timeline. A Texas recreational fishing license doesn't just magically last for 365 days from the second you click buy. Actually, all New Year licenses go on sale on August 15th, and they all share a universal expiration date of August 31st of the following year. So the absolute worst time to buy? Late July. If you buy a brand new license then, it's only going to be valid for about a month before it expires. You absolutely have to keep that cycle in mind when you're planning those summer trips so you don't end up paying full price for just a few weeks of fishing.
Moving right along to Section 2, New 2026 ID Requirements.
Okay, checking out at the counter or online is definitely not as simple as it used to be. The state has seriously cracked down on identity verification, and the magic number you need to remember here is 17. Effective August 3, 2026, every single person aged 17 or older must be physically present with their own valid proof of identification to purchase a recreational hunting or fishing license in person. Gone are the days of just staying in the truck while someone else runs in to grab the permits.
So, what actually counts as acceptable ID? Well, it totally depends on where you call home. If you're a Texas resident, an unexpired Texas driver's license or ID card works perfectly. If you're an out-of-state tourist or maybe a winter Texan, an unexpired real ID from your home state is good to go. But watch out for this major trap. If you are from out of state and hold a non-real ID, you might actually be required to provide an original supplemental document, like an original U.S. birth certificate or an unexpired passport. And no, photocopies will definitely not cut it here.
Because of these strict new rules, we're seeing a massive shift from past years. I can't emphasize this enough. No more buying for the whole boat. You literally cannot send one buddy into the bait shop or charter office to just buy licenses for the whole group anymore. Every single adult who needs a license has to physically walk up to that counter with their own ID in hand. And if you're buying online, each individual license holder will have to have their ID independently validated right through the portal.
Okay, Section 3, Paper versus Digital Formats.
This right here is the great debate of Texas fishing, and the choice you make here completely changes how you're going to behave out on the water and how you legally tag your catch. So, if you choose a paper license online, it's going to take about 7 to 10 days to arrive in the mail, and you have to use physical paper tags on harvested fish like those oversized red drum. On the flip side, if you go with a digital license, it's available online only, gives you instant access via mobile app, and strictly requires electronic tagging. And listen, you cannot mix and match these once you've made your choice. A digital license holder is never, ever going to receive printed tags in the mail.
Oh, and a super quick heads up, just to prevent any sticker shock at checkout. Whether you choose paper or digital, if you're buying your license online or over the phone, there is a standard mandatory $5 administrative fee tacked onto the transaction. It's a flat fee across the board, so just make sure to factor that little extra into your trip budget.
Let's dive into Section 4, Mastering the TPWD apps.
Since the government has a couple of different applications floating around the app stores, you really need to know exactly which one does what so you aren't fumbling around with your phone while trying to hold a slippery fish. The Outdoor Annual app is basically your ultimate reference guide. You use it to check local bag limits, review county-specific rules, or just show your electronic receipt if you bought a paper license. But the Texas Hunt and Fish app? That one is mandatory if you bought a digital license. This is the specific app where you execute your digital tags and submit your harvest reports. Honestly, the smartest move, and what basically all the seasoned anglers do, is just keep both of them downloaded and updated on your phone. Okay, let's talk about a total worst-case scenario. What happens if you drop your paper license right in the lake? Or, maybe it accidentally goes through the washing machine in your jeans pocket. Hey, it happens to the best of us. When disaster strikes your physical documents, it is so easy to panic and just assume your fishing trip is completely ruined.
But don't stress, because the solutions are surprisingly simple and really cheap. If you're doing non-tag fishing, which just means you aren't harvesting species that require physical tags, you can legally just use the emailed receipt you got when you purchased it, or you can show your profile on the Outdoor Annual app. Now, if you are going after species that require tagging, you can't just show a receipt. But all you have to do is stop by a licensed retailer, fill out a quick little affidavit, and buy a replacement for a mere $10. Disaster totally averted.
Now let's look at another scenario, specifically for the digital license folks. Picture this. You catch a massive, oversized red drum, but you are way out on the water, with absolutely zero cell phone service. Don't panic. The state actually has an exact offline tagging protocol for this. Step 1, you submit it in the Texas Hunt and Fish app anyway. It's just going to save as unsubmitted. Step 2, you have to physically write your name, your customer number, and the date and time on some sort of durable material and attach it right to the fish. Step 3, as soon as you drive back into cell service, sync the app, get your confirmation number, and write it onto that exact same durable material. If you follow those steps, you are 100% compliant, even when you're totally off the grid.
And finally, Section 5, where your money goes.
It's really easy to just look at licensing as this annoying, mandatory, bureaucratic fee, like it's just a tax on your weekend fun. But I really want to reframe this for you, because exactly 100% of your hunting and fishing license fees go directly to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. This money isn't just disappearing into some giant black hole of a general state fund. Every single dollar is funneled right back into the environment.
Here's how those funds actually break down on the ground. Your fees are actively paying for massive fish stocking programs to make sure the lakes stay populated. You're funding vital habitat restoration and land conservation all across the state. And, absolutely crucially, your license fees help equip and support the Texas game wardens who are out there protecting these amazing natural resources. So, you aren't just buying permission to fish, you're actively ensuring that the fish are actually there for the next generation to catch.
Also, when you're going through checkout, you're going to see options to make some small voluntary donations. I highly recommend considering these if you can. You can chip into some truly incredible programs like Hunters for the Hungry, the Fund for Veterans Assistance, or Operation Game Thief, which actually helps catch poachers. It's just an incredibly easy way to go above and beyond and give back to the Texas outdoor community while you're already at the checkout screen.
So, we've navigated those tricky new ID laws, we've decoded the apps, and we've seen exactly where your money goes. You are now fully empowered, completely compliant, and so ready to hit the water. The only question left to answer is this: where is your first Texas fishing adventure going to take you? Get out there, enjoy the absolutely incredible waters of Texas, and I will see you in the next explainer.